if you're watching the restream of this or the broadcast, we're gonna wait till we get a couple people on. All right, close that out. Chat overlay. What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing, man? Thanks for popping on here. This is our Wednesday live Q&A brought to you by Connectly. Wanted to pop in here, and I want to at least try to provide a little bit of value for you guys. The whole purpose is this is every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, you can reach out. Please let people know if they're trying to do real estate, if they're in there. What do I think about the whole Zillow situation? Wu-Tang, be a little more specific on what question you're thinking about or talking about. Are you talking about them, what they've been doing, which is branching into the market, offering properties up, or are you thinking about them buying the properties and reselling them? Be a little more specific. Let me know. But this is for you guys, really, man. I want to answer as many questions as I possibly can, and just give you guys as much value as we can. So make sure that you let people know, man. If they want, everybody says they want mentorship, they want help with deals. Here you are. It's free, absolutely free. So Wu-Tang 23361. Let me know what are you talking about when it comes to the Zillow situation. What part of it? That's really the which one are we talking about? Because there's a couple of different things that they've done, either stuff that they've already done in the past or the new rollout, what they're doing currently. So if you guys just popping on here, this is the live Q&A brought to you by Connectly. Listen, yeah. Oh man, the wholesaler in me loves it because I see that. I mean, what can you do about that, right? You see the hustle, you see the grind. It's smart by them. They've now. This is a good example of setting a floor, right, or setting an anchor price, because they've trained their audience. They've trained all of the. If you've been trying to wholesale and you're doing investment properties, you talk to sellers. Everybody says, well, my Zestimate says this, my Zestimate says that, and blah blah blah. And on Zillow it says this. So they've been training their buyers. I'm sorry, their sellers like this for a while on what the Zestimate is, right? The good thing is that Zestimate, a lot of it is low, right? We can all agree. Like there's estimates a lot of times is not accurate. I shouldn't say always, but there's a lot of time. Most of the time, it's definitely inaccurate, not accurate. What's going on? Made official, peace. It's definitely not accurate for sure. And sometimes they're a lot lower than what they could be. So the good thing is that if they're going off of that, if your sellers are going off of that, if that's what they're saying, and you check it and it makes sense, then Zillow is kind of helping you out there. You can maybe go a little bit above what they're offering if it makes sense. But yeah, they're essentially turning into a wholesale company. I mean, they got the platform, man. It's a smart move. We just got to be better at providing value and providing options. I think right now, and Wu-Tang, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You can throw it in the chat, man. Let me know, are you familiar with other options? Because I think that's one thing that's going to be difficult for Zillow to keep up with, is that human interaction when we get to talk with the person and offer them other options, right? So with them not being able to do that and say, hey, you got your wholesale price, give you this estimate, we might be able to help you up and get you money over time on terms. If you're interested in doing owner financing, you can get longer, something like that. We can also put you in a position where you can win on a lease option. We can do that. And we can also, maybe do a sub 2. We're going to go out. We had a sub 2 set up Man, this was back in December timeframe, and we liked the deal. We went for the deal, wanted to get the deal. We went to go put it up for. We put it and took it to the closing attorney to pull title because it's a sub-2 deal. So we went to make sure that was good before we started that process. So just it is what it is. It took a little bit long to pull the title and do title search on it. The seller became impatient, went with someone else, or signed a contract with someone else, and that person did exactly what we told them they were going to do. They said, "Listen, they're giving you this number that doesn't make sense," and they then went to go and renegotiate and try to pull out. And of course, he didn't sell it, and so now we're going to go back and we're going to knock on his door tomorrow and try to get that contract back. And then since the title's already been worked on it, just fly right through that thing. So hopefully we got some good news for you guys tomorrow when we get that. That'll be something light. That'll be something light. Like we're gonna be all in it for probably $15,000 to $18,000. It's worth in its current condition $140. So it'll be something light. It's a mortgage on it. I think the mortgage is $93,000, something like that. But there's a moratorium, obviously, you guys know, till June 29th or June 30th or something like that, right? So it is, they do have, he's behind on his mortgage. The total due is like 93 grand. All we're going to do is we're going to go in there, clean it out, and do a couple, like $15,000 worth of repairs, and then throw it on the open market 140, right? We'll close out, we'll cash out on it, and keep it pushing, put our money back in our pocket and keep it pushing, move on to the next. So we should be in and out of that thing in less than, 45 to 60 days, start to finish, just depending on if we find a full price offer, quickly. So those are things that a lot of other people aren't going to do, right? Let me see here. It's a good question. Says, what kind of leads are you targeting currently that are converting to closed deals? So a lot of tired landlords, a lot of people that I went to a mastermind in January, and I think the guy's name is Donnell. I forgot his last name. He's on TV. He's on HGTV, or he's on some show. And he was real raw about what he does. They buy like 4 or 5 properties a day, not a week, a day. He said something. He said, "Man, he's like, you guys got to stop." Well, he's real raw, so he didn't say it this nice, but essentially he said, you got to stop playing around. He didn't use those words, but you got to stop playing around and just buy properties from wholesalers. And he said they just buy properties from wholesalers at a discount price, and they're not always looking for, they're not looking for the, $80,000, $100,000, profit. They're just looking to make a quick little $15,000, $20,000 over and over again without having to spend a whole bunch of time finding properties, right? So their business model is they go to wholesalers, or they'll just go wherever. They do have an acquisitions team, and then they will just buy the properties at wholesale prices. And instead of JVing with them, they'll buy them. They'll do something light, and then they'll put it on the open market, right? So they're specifically looking for a certain type of property, right? And they're specifically looking for a certain type of property. So that's what we're doing right now. Like there's a quad that we were looking at down in Columbus. We pulled out of that today, unfortunately, because of some other stuff that was happening behind the scenes. But that was from another wholesaler. That was from another investment company. A lot of these other investors, these people that are, that bought earlier, and they ran out of money or something else happened. Those people, they're trying to get out, and those are properties you can get in. This property, this quad, I mean, that thing, They literally, the day that we were there, they were bringing in brand new appliances, right? Like stainless steel appliances. So we can talk that deal through if you guys want. If you guys let me know if anybody want me to talk through that deal. But yeah, we ended up pulling out of the deal because it didn't fit our investment strategy. We were going in there thinking that we were going to have an empty units, and they started putting tenants in on the economy, and I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to do Section 8 because if something else happens and they can't pay, then I'm stuck with those tenants for a year. And you know, it's just one of those things where I felt like for us and for our investors, it might not have been a good thing. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So Made Official says, yeah. So, all right. So real quick then, you're so interested in Section 8. So we found this property about 10 days ago. Another wholesaler brought it to us, and we're using private money. So if I'm using my own money, I'm cautious. But if I'm using your money or like private money, I'm super cautious, like really, really cautious, because I know if I only got one chance, in the beginning, right, to make that first impression, and if I screw that up, you'll never want to do business with me again. So I'm like really, really cautious. I'm always like factoring worst case scenario. So, so this particular property found from a wholesaler, and reached out to my partner, if I'm not mistaken, and wanted 115, I believe, and I think, and we ended up getting it for under contract for 97.5. And the whole goal was to get it, do a cash out refi, and let's do this here. Do a cash out refi, and then go ahead and refinance and have it on the rental market for Section 8. Have it on the rental market for Section 8, right? So I'll walk through the numbers. 1 second. All right, so let me know if you guys can see any of this. Should be able to see it. Just bought some markers too. Where did I put those markers at? All right, anyway. So it's a quad, right? You guys see that? No, you can't see that. Hold on. Let me get my brand new markers. Give me 1 second. All right. All right. So it's a brand new, I'm sorry, not a brand new. It's a quad. So they got 4 units, right? So quad, 4 units, right? So, and the way it's set up is like this. So okay, so this is unit A and B. This is C and D. Hopefully you guys can see that, okay? So originally wanted 115. We're able to talk them down. Can't see that too well. We're able to talk them down to 97.5. That's what we got under contract for, okay? So $97,500 is what we got this quad. So the cool thing about this quad was that all the renovations were done in C and D. D needed, I think, the kitchen, but actually the people were coming there and installing it then. The C and D got brand new stainless steel appliances. A and B, flooring, everything else in there was done. A and B, flooring is done. Kitchen still needs to be worked on, and electrical box went in. Okay. So we had a contractor come out there. It was going to cost us $4,800 per unit to finish these off. Okay. So $4,800 per unit. And that glare is killing, huh? Is it okay? Can you guys see this? Let me know if you can see. Somebody put it in the chat whether or not you can see that clearly. Hopefully you can. All right. So it's 4,800 for this one, 4,800 for this one. And then we were probably going to, there was a air conditioner that was stolen. So we're going to spend about another 5K on an air conditioner. Just put 5K here. Okay. So 97.5 for what we wanted to do. We were hoping that Section 8 for this particular one would be about 600, but they went out and they rented this. They rented this property here. What happened was it was two business partners. They happened to be brothers. They had a falling out, right? They wanted to go separate ways. One brother was like, yo, I'm putting it out for sale, and got it. A wholesaler reached out to him, sold it. I guess that wasn't communicated with the other brother. And so that other brother hired a property manager, and that other brother's, the property manager, what they did is they actually rented out this one, but they rented it out for $550. Okay. So $550 is what they rented out for. So when we got there, we went to go see it on Monday. This was empty. Nobody was in here. We came back on Wednesday. This one already had furniture in it, and this guy up here was moving in at the same time. Okay. And we were like, what the heck is happening? We were hoping 600, 600, 600, 600, Section 8. Okay. And so not only was it $50 less, which is going to bring down the evaluation, but I wasn't really happy. And if, like I said, if it was my money, it might have been a little bit different. But I felt safer having it on Section 8 in case another wave comes through or something else happens where people lose their job and now they can't pay us. I would rather have safe money dealing with someone else's money as a private investor, which we were, than do this and then it fall through, because then he'll never want to lend money with us ever again. Okay. So I want you guys to try to do the math on this and try to figure out what this looks like from a return on investment standpoint, right? On an annual basis. Okay. So while you're trying to figure out, if you're trying to figure out on your own, cool, I'm going to walk through it real quick. And then I'm going to show you a quick way to use to figure out how much you'll be paying. Because obviously you could pay for this up front with your own cash, all 97.5 plus whatever it costs, right? Or you can put money down and use private money. But either way, you need to know what the cost. There's a cost to borrow money, right? The cost of money. So you need to know how to figure that out on what the cost of money is. If you're dealing with hard money, if you're dealing with amortized money, if you're dealing with private money, right, which is just a straight, you're only paying on the interest. You need to understand how to do that. So let's walk through this real quick. All right. And if you guys please, man, I will. I'm going to explain that to you now, Made Official, for sure. Please try to do this with me or on your own, and then at the end you can see if you're right or not. Make sure I got my calculator, which I do. Okay, cool. Boom. All right, here it is. So we got 97,500. There's some things that we need to think about when we're calculating this thing. One of those things is going to be closing costs, right? So I'm going to put it here, closing costs, CC. Closing costs are typically about 3%. Okay, so 3% of that, right? We're not reselling it, and we're not buying it from a real estate agent, so we don't have to factor in the average cost of real estate agent fees, which is 6%. but we do need to factor in this 3% because that's what we're paying. So the seller is not paying that. Okay, so 97.5 plus 30 plus 3%. So we're gonna put 97.5 plus 3%. That's $2,925, right? Which equals, so 100 425. So this is what it's going to cost for us to get into the property. Okay. Now, some of you guys do know or don't know, I'm a CMO and principal owner in a Black-owned bank, Money Avenue, and so with that, I'm getting a rate here. I would normally get 10%, but I'm using someone else's money, so we're putting down 25% on this. All right. So we got to put a 25% down payment. All right. So we're going to time this by 0.25, which brings it, which is $25,106. I'm just going to, and it says 25 cents. I'm not worried about the cents right now. Okay. So basically, we're going to be looking to, 25,106. So we're going to be looking to get a loan or finance $75,319. Okay. So this is finance. This is down payment. This is purchase. I put PP purchase price. Okay. All right. So this is our total purchase price with closing costs included. This is what we got to put down. This is where we're going to be financing $75,319. Okay. Follow me. So we also need to include this. We need to add this up. So let's add that up separately. How much? And these are our repairs. So we got 4,800 times 2 plus $5,000. Okay. So about 14,600. I'm going to go ahead. I would normally add 10%, but I'm going to add, that would only be $1,400 in 60 or $1,460. I'm probably going to add about $3,000 for incidentals, things that we don't think about, things that we didn't see beforehand. All right. We can go through 3K really quick. So I'm adding 3,000. So I'm going to say our total for repairs is going to come down to 17,600. Okay. So this is for repairs. All right. So with this stuff right here, with this information here, you pretty much know, I'm not gonna do that. I'll confuse you guys. But right now, pretty much you can kind of figure out, okay, what does it look like on a cap rate, if you want to call it that, or capitalization rate? What is my return on investment looking like? Cap rate is more assessing risk, right? My cash on cash return. What is my return on investment? How much am I spending versus how much am I getting on an annual basis, right? So what we can do here is we got to say, okay, they're renting out for 550. Let's say that trend continues, which I think it probably will, because these are all identical units, right? So we're renting out for 550. I say obviously this other side rents out for 550. Okay, so if both of them are 550, so that's 1,100. That's 1,100. That's $2,200 total in rent. So 2,200 per month rent. Okay. 2,200 for rent. So we got to annualize this. So times 12 equals, I think it's like 24 something, 2,200 times 12, 26,400. Okay. $26,400. Okay. Now, this $26,400, we're going to take out. Operating costs. So we'll go ahead and take out. I'm like super cautious, so I'm taking out 45%. That includes, my taxes. That includes, my manager's fees, my maintenance fees, all those things. So I'm going to go ahead and remove 45% here, which now leaves us with an annual income of 14,520. Okay. Okay. Annual income. All right. So now that we have this, we understand that this is what we're going to make annually after we take out all those expenses. Okay. All right. What we need to do is find out how much does it cost altogether to get into this property in order for us to make $2,200 a month or $26,400 gross per year. Okay. Well, obviously we have to purchase it. Okay. We have to pay the closing costs, right? Which comes to 100,425. Okay. We put our money in, obviously. Okay. That's a part of that. Okay. But the other part of it is that they have to add this 17,600. All right. So we're going to take 17,600 plus this 100,425. We're at 118,025. So our all in, can you see this here? All in equals 118. Oops. So these are I need this number. I need this number, right? And what I'm going to do now is take this, this number here, 14,520, and divide it by 118,025. And that's going to give me that number there. All right. Now you can do old school and move the decimal place 2 places over to the right, or you can times it times 100, right? So if you times it times 100, it'll give you, either one will give you what it is in a percentage. So this is, when I do this, I'm taking 14,520 by 118,025 equals 0.1230, whatever. We're going to move that over 2 spots, which gives us a 12.3%. All right. Or a 12.3% or 12.3 capitalization rate. Okay. So I know this is looking messy here. So what I want you to understand here is that you have to kind of compare it to the market, right? On, is this a good rate of return on your money? The answer for most people would be yes. It's a really good rate of return. Okay. So 12.3% cap. That means out of every dollar that's going out, all right, it's yielding you 12% coming back to you. Okay. So when we're looking at this, and the way you can compare it is that you can compare it to, your savings account, which is probably getting less than 1%. You can compare it to a mutual fund or a money market account. You compare it to the stocks, right? And you got to address whether or not in stocks, for example, there's some stocks that are getting more than 12%, right? But they're also very risky. This is something where we've taken out a lot of the risk, okay? We've taken out 45%, because right, we're not using the entire annualized income, right, or the gross income. This 14,520, which is what we used up here to get this whole thing. This is the result of taking out 45%, almost 50%. So we're taking out a large chunk because one day someone's going to not pay their rent in Unit B. One day someone's going to throw a rock through Unit C. One day the roof that covers both of these properties are going to need to be replaced. Like, these are things that we're going to have to pay taxes, right? These are all things that take to run the business. Okay. So what I want you guys to understand is that this is the basic mechanics of it. Now, why did I do this? Okay. We have to understand, what did I say some of the costs were, right? We said property management, we said some of the things, but one of the things I didn't consider in here is the cost of money or your debt service. Okay. You don't include your debt service when you're getting your net operating income, which is this 14,520. Okay. All right, so you need to figure out, okay, how much is this going to cost me at whatever interest rate that my money is at, right? So if you're doing a hard money loan, you're probably going to be sitting at right around 10% or more. Okay, so what I want to show you here, we do kind of like um, a mixture. Okay, so what do I want to erase? I can erase this part right here. Okay, so what I want you to do now is I really want you just to focus on, I can erase all this actually, except for this section right here. I want you to focus on the money section, okay? Because I want you to see I want you to understand and be able to figure out if you're dealing with hard money or if you have to use private money, what that looks like, right? With hard money, and a lot of times with private money, unless you have some private money, is like it's whatever you, well, actually both of them. It's really whatever you can agree upon. One, first and foremost, you have to understand when you cross over into that world, you're now looking at you're now dealing in a world where there's you don't have the safety of the government regulating things, right? You go to a bank, right? A bank has a banking license. They have a mortgage bank that has a mortgage bank license, right? They have certain laws and bylaws that they have to abide by, right? Now you're working with a private person, you're working with a company, you're working with someone, maybe a family member that's pulling money out. It's whatever you negotiate, okay? But typically what's going to happen is this, is that they're going to give you, especially hard money, they're going to be 10% or more, and probably two, maybe three points. A point is 1%. So when they say, hey, it's going to be, 2 points, right? Well, that means it's 2%. What does that mean? Meaning that if you took out a loan for easy math of $100,000, 1 point would be $1,000. 2 points would be $2,000, right? If you took out a loan for $200,000, 1 point would be $2,000. 2 points would equal $4,000. Get the point, okay? So with us, we're paying a down payment. There is no points. So we're paying a down payment of 25%, which is this right here. 25% down payment, okay? So what does that mean? We're financing this, okay? It's also we're financing at 10% interest. And this is interest only. Meaning that none of this is paying down the balance of this account. Like when we make payments every single month, it's not like this is decreasing. Paying there, we're literally just paying them money for allowing us to borrow money from them. Okay, so how do we figure out what that looks like? Okay, what you have to understand is that this is based off of a annual percentage. Okay, so it's actually pretty simple with 10%, but let's just do it here. It doesn't matter what it is. 70. What do we say? What are we financing? This is why we had to do this, right? We had to figure all this out. Where we know that we're purchasing it for $97.5. Closing costs are going to be roughly about 3%, so it's going to cost us $29.25. That's going to be a total of $100,425. We need to put 25% down of that, which means this is what needs to come out of the bank's pocket, or really the private money's pocket, or whoever you're dealing with, your hard money loaner, their pocket, right? $75,319. Okay, so $75,319. Okay, and then we're going to say, well, we got to know what 10% is. Well, obviously, what 10% of this is going to be $7,531.90. But you can just times it times 0.1 and get that number. Okay, so remember, this is annualized, right? So this is the annual. Like if we were to keep this loan for the entire year, we would pay an extra $7,531 just in interest on that money. Okay. So, but if this is annual, that means we need to divide this and figure out what are we going to be paying on a monthly basis. So we divide this by 12 and come up with $627.65. So this is what we'll be paying if we were to use this money. We'd be paying so let me just do that again. So we take the 75,319 and we find out, we times it times 0.1, which is 10%, and that equals $7,531.90. Okay, and then we're going to divide that by 12, and that equals my $627.65. Well, really probably rounded up to 66 cents. Okay. So why is this really important? This is how, remember I said before on that last exercise, right? We're building on this thing now. The last exercise, it was, we were making, you know, 1,100 per side, total of 2,200 for the 4 units, right? And that was not including paying this mortgage, right? That 12.3% capitalization rate, right? That we said our return on investment, that was not factoring in this. It never does, right? Because there's too many variables to figure out this. What if you had a 11% or a 14%? I've seen some hard money that was as high as 16%. Okay. So 16% on 75,000, that's a lot of money, right? So it would completely change these numbers. So, but this is important because this is going to count for how long it takes for you to get out of this hard money. What do I mean by that? We're doing something called the BRRRR method. Okay, so we buy, we renovate or reno, okay, we rent, refi, and repeat. Okay, so in order to do this, we have to buy it, we got to renovate it, we got to rent it out. And when you rent it out, most banks are going to require you to wait 6 months, all right, for what they call a seasoning period. So this money is seasoned. It's basically just a way for them to make money. They can do it if they want to. But once they hit 6 months, then you can refinance out of that, refinance out of this. And then you get hope. The game plan is to get your money back. So I'm building on these things because I want you guys to see what we're thinking about here. Okay, what we're thinking about here on why we decided not to do this deal with someone else's money. Okay, so they had to come out of pocket $25,106, right? On top of that, right? We're probably going to be down about a month before we get new people in there. It was a week's time to get those 2 other units filled up. All right. So we're not making our 2,200 right away. Right. So about a week's time before we get them up. And then I'm counting on another 3 weeks of looking for qualified tenants and putting them in there before they're moved in. Okay. So about a month away from getting $2,200 a month. Okay. In that interim, we're paying $627.65. Now we got to pay that 627. I'm just going to call it 627, right? 627. We got to do that for a minimum of 6 months. Really, in all actuality, you need to also factor in the time that it takes for you to get approved for that and move that. So I would say 7 months, okay? So 627 times 7 months, $4,389. $4,389. Okay. So that's what we'll be paying in interest over that 7-month time frame. This is 7 months here. Okay. Put a little M there at the bottom. So that's what we're paying on in interest. We're going to be making, you know, $2,200 a month minus 45%. So 2,200 minus 5%. So we're going to be making 1210. So we'll obviously be able to cover this 620, 1210 a month, right? 550, 550 for unit A and B, 550, 550 for unit C and D, right? Add all that up, that equals 2,200 if everybody pays their rent. We take out 45% to pay our property manager, our expenses, our capital expenditures, excuse me, which taxes, insurance, maintenance, and vacancies, right? So we take out 45%, which leaves us with 1,210, and then $627 a month is going out to pay our loan for 7 months until we can refi out of it at a lower rate, because we're paying 10% here. You guys follow me? Right? Making sure that we're following along. These are all the things that when I'm using someone else's money, I really use my own money, or if you're using it, these are things that you need to think about to determine, man, is this really a good deal? Like, is it the right deal? Because this is still a good deal. This is a great deal. Okay. But what I had to ask myself, I said, Tommy, are you being selfish? Right? Because I get a piece of this deal, right? And my piece is going to work, right? I can make money off this deal, right? But am I saying, Tommy, are you concerned about you, or knowing the needs of my client, my partner, excuse me, not my client, but my partner, right? The person, the money partner, the person who's funding it, knowing what they want. Is this a great deal for them? It's a great deal, but is it a great deal for them? Okay. So when I do this math, I see that we're positive cash flow, $583 a month. Right? Positive. That's what we're in the positive for every single month. Okay. So we could literally have one of those units in that quad not pay rent and still have, $13 or $33, excuse me, left over and be cool. Okay. And not have to come out of pocket to cover this, which, right? But here's where you have to get into what is the goal for this specific investor. If somebody else wants to get this deal and you're happy with this, cool, let me know. But for this specific investor, the problem is they want to turn money over a little bit quickly, a little more quickly. And they were thinking about this part right here, this refi, and refinancing out of it and being able to get their money back, right? Meaning that they're able to get this entire $25,106 back. Now, you need to have one other piece of information in order to find that, okay? Whether or not they're going to be able to get that. And that's what the after repair value is, okay? So when I looked at it, I thought it was going to be a little bit higher. I had another agent that is down in that area, because I don't live in that area. Had another agent pull comps down there, and they couldn't find anything that was similar that sold for more than, I think, like 100 and I think it was like 125, right? But these would have been nicer. So I was thinking that it was going to sell at least for 130, all right? So let's say up here, let's see where you can see that at. ARV equals 130,000, 130K, okay? All right, so you got an ARV of 130,000. Now we can clearly see the full picture, right? With my investor that is adamant, that really wants to get their down payment back, can we buy it, renovate it, rent it out, and refinance it, all right, to get them their money back? Okay, well, you need to know what the ARV is, okay? And you also need to know what the terms are with the bank. The bank will give a 75% LTV, or loan to the value of the property. The value of the property is what? $130,000. Okay. The value of the property is $135,000. So now we got to figure out what is 75% of that 130. And that's what I'm saying it's worth. They were telling me, I think it was 122.9 or something like that, or 125.9. So that's what the real estate agent is saying, is that once we get done with it, there's nothing else that's sold for higher than that. Okay, that was that size. But I'm saying, these are brand new units, brand new stainless steel stainless steel appliances. We're going to get 130. Okay, 130 times 0.75, 97,500. Okay, so 75%, meaning that the bank. So 75% of this is $97,500. Okay, don't get confused with this. This was the contract price of $97,500. So if we do a 75% of this, and the bank says, I'm going to give you 75% of what this house is valued at, we have to pay back what? 25. We have to pay back $75,319 for the purchase, but then we also had the repair costs, because the bank will cover the repair costs. That repair cost, I think, came to $17,000. Basically, they're all in of this thing is what we needed to be at. Okay, the repair cost plus this plus our money back. Okay. So you can clearly see there's a difference here between 97.5 and 118. So let's look at what that difference is. 118,025 minus 97,500. So that's the difference there. So really, they would have, if I would have pulled the trigger on this, they would have been positively cash flowing in this property. They would have had a quad that they could have made money off of year after year. They would have had something that they could have, passed down, through generations. They also would have had the ability to, write off, use it for tax write-offs, depreciating, all those things, right? So there's a lot of positives. They would have had a positive cash flow of 583 at this higher end. Once we refinance out of this thing down to like 4.25 or 4.5 or something like that, right? They would have been positively cash flowing, probably closer to $800, okay, $700-800, okay. So a lot of good things with this, right? Tenants are now paying off the mortgage, right? A lot of good things, but it wasn't right for them, because they would have been out of their pocket like $20K. Okay. Now a lot of people say, well, shoot, getting the quad is cash flowing for only $20,000. It makes sense, because literally that's all the money that's coming out of their pocket. Everything else, the 97.5 plus the repair costs, all of this is paid by the tenants, units A, B, C, and D. So it's really $20,000 that's coming out of their money. The money they had to go work and save up for, $20K is coming out of their pocket. So it's a really, really good deal. Really good deal, right? And like I said, after they refinanced out of it, they'd be making, probably about closer to like $700 to $800 a month. But is it the right deal for them, right? Is it the right deal for them? If they're making, let's say, $700 a month times 12 months, times 12 months, it's $8,400, right? So they're talking about, if they're out of pocket of $20K, divided by 8,400, they'd make their money back in like 2 years and some change, in a couple of months. Really, really good deal. But it's not a good deal for them, because they said their main concern, or one of their main concerns, that they wanted to get this money back once we refinanced out of it, right? So hopefully, man, walking through this, I took my time kind of walking through it from step by step, from the beginning all the way through. Hopefully you guys can kind of see. I know it's a lot of math. But these are all the things you have to think about. A lot of times people will get into the property and they'll just do this one side, and they won't factor in, oh, snap, I got a mortgage I got to pay for. How do you even calculate that, right? How do you make that, how do you, factor in that, hey, man, I got this is going to cost me money. And does my rent cover that, right? In this particular case, it does. It checks off the box of, Yeah, you know, it does cover my rent. So, man, that's a really good thing. But what's the end goal? If your end goal was to put this $25,106 in, refinance out of it, and then get your $25,106 back so you can go into the next property, if it doesn't check off that box, then you have to be unemotional about the property and you have to walk away, right? Because it doesn't fit your investment strategy. Maybe it fits somebody else's, but it doesn't fit yours. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful, man. I never go into these things on Wednesday night with the planned thing. Oh, I want to talk about this, because it's really based off of the feedback that you guys give me and the questions that you guys ask me. So you know, if you guys have questions, remember we're doing this every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. unless something comes up, obviously, that I can't get on here. So make sure that you have your questions. We're going to wrap this one up because I don't see any other more questions in here. Yeah, that's it. No other questions in here, so we're gonna wrap this one up. Again, if you guys, this whole program, this whole process is brought to you by Connectly. Connectly is helping real estate agents and wholesalers and brokers connect with their perfect client, their perfect avatar automatically. So if you guys are interested in seeing what that is about, if you're interested in text message marketing, email marketing, triggers, where, you know, someone sends you a picture or sends you a message and the system automatically responds on your behalf. If you're interested in creating your own funnels and being able to have funnels, bring people in there, all that is here at connectly.com. Just go to Connectly. It's right there on the screen.com. It's only $49 as it is right now. Prices will be going up eventually as we get more and more members in there. So right now, take advantage of it. We have actually a full wholesaling course in there, as well as a Airbnb course. So you guys can, there'll be no reason why in 2021 you cannot get your first deal, second deal, 10th deal done, and add a couple of Airbnb courses on there. We've had a lot of people have success with it, and it can all be automated using Connectly.com. So once again, go to Connectly.com to check that out. I promise you, you will not be disappointed when you get into that process. All right. So we'll wrap this one up, man. What are the convos like to get private money? What we'll do is Made Official Solutions. I appreciate that question, but that's a long explanation, and I won't have time to do that here. Make sure you guys check back next Wednesday, and I will answer that question. Just be back on here, Made Official Solutions. Make sure you do that. And we'll go ahead and I'll try to even get in, because I have a guy, his name is Jordan Morgan out of Delaware. Phenomenal dude. He's the king of this thing, man, of getting private money. And maybe I'll try to get him on here as well. Who knows? We'll see. All right. So check back with us on Wednesday, and we will answer that. For now, you guys have a blessed evening. You guys take care, and see you next week. All right. Peace.